I just wanted to do this live to just talk about this weekend. Y'all know this weekend was Mother's Day. Yesterday was Mother's Day. We didn't have a Mother's Day because yesterday we had the services for my dad. It's been a long time coming because he passed 1 month ago as of yesterday. It's been 1 month and 1 day. Time just goes really fast. Um, and this was looming in the background because I was like, even though I know he's gone, it's one thing to know he's gone, and it's another thing to have a service for him and to watch him go in the ground. I knew that was going to be the hardest part, but believe it or not, I do feel some kind of a sense of relief because I'm like, now the healing process can begin. The good parts, the good parts of this weekend are just the family and friends that rallied around me, the people that let me know that I don't have to go through this alone. Loved your tribute to him. Thank you so much, MC. I struggled to write a tribute because every time I sat down to write the tribute, I was saying to myself, I'm really writing something for his memorial. Like he's not coming back. That's what I was thinking every time I sat down to write. And then the night before the memorial service, a couple of just things just popped in my head and I wrote down a few things. And then I got up there, and if you saw what I had written down sitting there on the pulpit versus what I said, there was a little bit of framework for it. I told my mom this. There's a little bit of framework, but most of what I said, I just kind of thought of it when I was up there. Came from here. Came from here. I'm not really good. I do speeches and stuff, and I do public speaking, but it's the same way that I do with public speaking. I write things down, but a lot of times what I come up with to say is just heartfelt. You know, take your time to feel everything you're gonna feel. So, um, the first thing that really got me during the memorial service was when they did this photo slideshow. The photos, it was okay. I've seen the photos before, but a couple of the songs that they picked for the slideshow were based on the songs that I used to sing for him in the nursing home. Three Little Birds and Don't Worry About a Thing. When those particular songs came on, I had a good cry because I was like, man, this was my Saturday and Sunday routine for like a good 7 months. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy said beautiful speech. This was like my routine for like a good 6, 7 months. And the last month, I wake up on Saturday and it's like, yeah. So today was his burial. Um, that was rough. That was rough. It was rough on me. It was most rough on my mom. My mom and dad were married for 43 years. So, obviously that's going to be very tough on her. She's going to have to reinvent her life in some ways. I'm going to have to reinvent my life in some ways. Not in the same kind of ways as her, but it's good to cry. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It can be cleansing, it can be healing. Yeah, so Now everything is over. I have a couple more days off. I took off until Wednesday. I would have taken the whole week off, but the bereavement policy I've told you guys is a joke. So I'm using my own personal time off, and I don't have that much, so that's the reason why I'm going to be back on Wednesday. Love to your mom and sister too. Thank you. My sister actually watches my YouTube page and will possibly watch this. But even if she doesn't, I'll tell her. But yeah, she enjoys watching my YouTube page, which I found out. I didn't even know she watched my YouTube page, but one day she was like, "I liked your post about this and this and this and that." I thought that was pretty cool. Um, my dad loved my YouTube page in the last couple of years. He told me, "Mark, you're really on to something with that page, and you need to keep going with it and figure out how to make it work." Oh, she said she's watching now. Same here. Love and prayers to all. Thank you, Cindy H. So dapper. Thank you. My dad loved suits. He wore suits every day, 7 days a week. I remember we had this old neighbor that we used to live by, and the neighbor was having a barbecue in the backyard, and they were like, "Oh, Mark, come to the barbecue." So I went over. They were our next door neighbor, and I went over to tell my dad. He was sleeping at the time. I woke him up. I was like, "The neighbors invited us to this barbecue." He's like, "Oh, hold on." So I came back over, and they're like, "Where's your dad?" And I'm like, I'm guessing that he's probably jumping in the shower, and then he's gonna put on his suit. And sure enough, he went, took a shower, and put on a suit just to go to the next door neighbor's backyard barbecue in the summer. I like suits, you know. When I picked out this suit, I thought of him. This is his pin, actually. This is the Ghana flag. This is one of his pins that I took. But the rest of the suit, um, I picked it out, and I was like, he would love this suit if he saw it. He would love the suit if he saw it. Yeah, I actually went around to a few different suit places when I was picking it out. I told them what it was for. A couple of them gave me suits that I didn't like. And I was like, no, this suit has to be a really nice suit for this specific occasion. You look handsome. Thank you. Yeah, so it's hard to go through things like this. This is really the first time I've ever had something of this magnitude happen, or lost somebody of that magnitude, I should say. Because like you lose a grandparent or you lose someone like that. Well, I've had other losses, but it just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. But thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Y'all doing? How's your weekends? Today feels like an extended weekend day. Today feels like an extended weekend day. Losing a parent is life-changing. Tell me about it. you start to rethink your whole life and your whole life's purpose. It's like the person or people who have been there since day one, you lose one of them and your life feels different and you're like, what's my purpose here? And you're like, who could I possibly lose next? It's tough. It's been tough. And if you see me smiling and just going back to my routine, it's not because I was trying to ignore it or avoid it. It's just because it was a month. It was a month before we buried him. So I was like, if I dive too deep into my feelings right now, I'm not going to be able to function. So now I was able to go through the motions and the emotions and everything, and now we figure out where we go from here. But the one cool thing I would say is that a lot of people who didn't talk to me about what that loss was like for them started to talk during this time, and it just made me realize, like, you don't always know what people are carrying. Some people have been carrying that pain for years, and some of the most positive people I know, some of the happiest people that I know, they're always laughing, happy, but they've been carrying around that pain for years, and I just didn't know it. And it's something that also connects people. That's what somebody was telling me, and it's true. Actually, the limo driver who took us to the burial ground was telling me that death connects people. Like, it's a sad occasion, obviously, but it's an occasion where people come together. And he was like, God puts people in your life that you never expected. And that's what I have found for me, actually, during this time. There's some people that I expected to show up for me and did not. And there's some people who I would have no idea that they would show up for me, and they did. I'm thankful for that. You're finding your purpose. You're helping so many people. Thank you. That's actually the main reason I'm doing this live. But I gotta hop off, y'all. I will be back possibly later.